Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is about the PvE tier list for 3.4.13, and this one here will be focused on Rezo 2 cause previous video I already made the Rezo 0 one, and this video here is going to update the Rezo 2 one. The Rezo 2 one last time is like August 16, which is around 2 months already, which is 3 patches long, right? 3 to 4 patches long, around somewhere there. And since then we have seen a few updates and new releases, and while the changes aren't too massive, right, cause the gameplay is actually still technically almost the same, even though with the anomaly add-in, basically it still depends on how the anomaly buff is. So I'm just gonna add in the new Esper tier and then some tier changes based on my own testing in the PvE contents, right? So a lot of you have been asking about my thoughts and the current meta, so I thought it would be a good time to enhance the tier list here. So today I'm gonna walk through each tier and then highlight any key changes and explain why I moved them up and down, but it won't take too long because basically the bread and butter is already here. Same thing, this video here is a PvE focus only. Rezo is fixed on R2, and then a priority, the highest one is Philosophical Fantasy, Ritual and Desolate Land, and then the second priority will be Infinity Tower, Temporal Towers and Elemental Tower. The third priority is going to be Memory Reef and Event Trials, and then the fourth priority will be Story Stages. So this the criteria of me judging this is still going to be the same. Okay, so let me take a look here which tier, which kind of Esper will get changes, right? So within the meta tier, I think every single Esper here is still going to be good. Like they are still going to be very useful. Like for example, Brewster here is like speed running, APAC, all those stuff is still going to be very useful. For Subtle Fantasy as well, is still taking his role. I think overall they are still fitting very well, but I think I will move down Phantom Sister. Phantom Sister is a very good Esper, just that even in Philosophical Fantasy, right, personally myself, I think the Fatal Sister value actually went down a bit because we have other replacement, or in now we don't really need a lot of speed leader in Philosophical Fantasy since we have a turn limit. So I think I'll push down by 1 tier. It's not like I would push it to bottom, but I would say I'll push it 1 tier lower. Then the rest here, I would say overall here is still pretty accurate. I'll still consider them as meta. That if you guys are like curious, like why am I putting Sienna here, or why are they at the meta tier, if you want a full explanation, you can watch back the previous tier list video. I'll also put the link under my video description if you want. Then for the strong tier here, let me see, Sakura, Clara, all these things here. I think overall, yeah, they are still considered a strong tier, but maybe I will push Yamato higher if I really want. Like Yamato can be now used in Shadow Glue as well, Philosophical Fantasy as well. If you really want, Yamato can also fit in Fafnir. Story Stages, okay, never mind, I'll still fit it as strong. But I think Yamato can actually push up to meta as well, because R2 here give the bonus stats, and the bonus stats is actually very, very strong. So I would debate and put Yamato until the meta tier for PvE. Should I? Let me think. Yeah, I might put Yamato up to the meta tier as well, just because R2 give the bonus stats, and that effect actually is pretty impactful in my opinion. Okay, then the rest here strong, Yuran here elite. Okay, the rest here I think I'll still maintain them as a strong tier. And then decent here, I'll push Ife and Nora higher. Like Ife R2 here, the poison effect, right? Cause like for me, I can actually auto the whole memory reef content. I can auto the whole anomaly content as well. It's not a big problem for me. But I noticed that a lot of players actually uses R2 Ife to poison the enemy and just clear the content pretty easily. So I think that because of that, because of the value on the memory reef for Ife is actually pretty high as well. So I'll push Ife R2 value actually higher. And same goes for Nora. Like in Nora, let's say Story Stages, Nora can also do a very good job because of the 50% chance of counter attack. And then Shadow Glow, not Shadow Glow, what's that called? The Shadow Boss for Shadow Stream, is it? Shadow Stream Nora's value is also a pretty good DPS because we have a very limited range of wind type DPS Esper. and Nora is actually pretty good at doing her job. She can also do in Fafnir, she can also fit in Falsetto Fantasy as well. So I would say Nora can actually go up to strong tier and even going up to meta tier as well. But if I consider with the other Esper that is in the meta tier, Nora maybe won't value until the meta tier, so I'll put her at strong. Then a niche here, I would say overall is still going to be the same. Fushi, should I push higher? I don't think so, because if Fushi is just mainly for Falsetto Fantasy but need R6, so R2 here I won't really push him higher. Then okay, I'll push Moriyama higher to Wuyu tier, because like Moriyama when he released is a PvP Esper, right? But I actually see specific player uses their Moriyama for ritual content as well, like trying to one-shot Chronos, trying to one-shot Apep, or they're using their Moriyama in Shadow Glow, because he's a Shimmer Esper and he's a DPS role. He can do a decent DPS overall as long as he can you can make his S3 faster, maybe like CD reset, all those stuff. So I would say that instead of niche, the player actually uses Moriyama for their endgame PvE content. So I would say that it's actually good enough to push Moriyama value high. Then the bad Esper for PvE, I would still say overall will remain the same, nothing much changes. Then let's take a look at Osana. So Osana here, when they release, right, is like good, but like if you compare the bleed debuff, all those stuff, she really needs the R6. But if she goes until R6, that high investment, she doesn't really outshine too much with the other Esper that have the same role. So personally, for Osana wise, I would put at bad. R2 wise, right? R2 wise, I'll put Osana at bad. Then Lushang. So Lushang here definitely worth up instantly up to the meta, because every single content you can almost use Lushang there. He's a free bonus damage. He can not just Falsetto Fantasy. Chronos is also one of our main buffer now. Shadow Fire is also one of the main buffer. Shadow Glow is also one of the main buffer. He is technically unreplaceable, and he's providing a very unique buff to the game. And because of that, it actually changes a lot of the meta. Like if you look at Falsetto Fantasy, you look at your Shadow bosses, you look at your Ritual Miracle bosses, like all the leaderboards are actually having a massive changes just because Lushang appeared to the game. So, and if you watch a lot of the other video, Lushang actually provides a lot of different team, a lot of mechanic. It changes a lot of things like CD reset, increased speed, control 100% land. So any kind of content, he will definitely have his value. If there's a higher tier, I would even put Lushang at the Lushang tier there, because Lushang is actually very good and very strong. Then Yijing. So Yijing here, if you watch my previous video, I already analyzed everything about Yijing, but personally I would say that Yijing here is it's good. It's very strong in PvE. Like one of the main consideration for my video here is Falsetto Fantasy, right? And also Dislyte land bosses, and Yijing can fulfill the Shadow Glow and all the Falsetto Fantasy bosses, but it needs Lushang to work. So because of that, I would put Yijing one tier lower. But if you really always pair her with Lushang, she's actually at meta tier. But because everything she works, she needs Lushang there, so I won't put her value so high, because other than Lushang situation, she will be kind of useless. She can't really bring her value into the battle. Alright, then Meta Liling. So this Meta Liling here, we're talking about R2. Overall Meta Liling now performance in when I'm looking at 3.4.13, I have no idea when Meta Yunchuan came into the battle. Like, is there a synergize between with Meta Liling? Maybe that will make Meta Liling even better for PvE content. But at least for now, in Ritual Miracle, there's no usage for Meta Liling at R2. In Shadow bosses, there's no usage for Meta Liling as well. Falsetto Fantasy, there's only one boss that fulfills for Meta Liling, which is the cute boss, the Probator boss. The other boss don't really uses Meta Liling, even though I have R4 Meta Liling. I'm still finding a way to make him work. Like I think R4 to R6 is where he starts to shine more in PvE content. Okay, PvE content. So with that said, I think that in my main consideration like Falsetto Fantasy, all those stuff, I can't really put him at even in the decent tier. I would put him at a niche tier. Like why niche tier? Maybe in Calamity Tower. That's the only place I can find. Oh wait, Calamity Tower and Probator Boss. That's the only place I can find to put Meta Liling in. And Meta Liling is actually pretty replaceable. So let's say Meta Liling and Yuran, right? So Yuran is a sleep esper. Yuran have assist, Yuran is and sleep esper is pretty unique for Probator Boss. So if we are talking about Probator Boss, Yuran actually fulfill a very important role. And like Shadow bosses, Shadow Fire, Yuran speed leader is pretty good, assist is good, and then the CD reset for flow esper is also very good. But if we compare to Meta Liling, here he can also fulfill in Probator, same like Yuran. And then but other than Probator, he don't really shines too much. So I will put him in a niche tier for now, unless when Meta Yunchan release and Meta Yunchan actually have a more synergized with him or the other Esper, cause the anomaly team, there's still other few more Esper haven't appeared, right? So after all those Esper appear, if there's more buff to Meta Liling, then I will make the update again. But at least for now, I don't think Meta Liling actually worth the meta title, at least for now, at R2. Okay, this is R2. At R4 and R6, I believe there's more changes for him, but at least at R2, I would say he's pretty niche at the moment, unless there's more changes in the future. Then the last one is Zihe. So Zihe here is instantly pushed up to the meta tier as well in PvE content. Why? Because Falsetto Fantasy actually have his potential there, her potential there, just that we are still looking for a position for her because of the damage taken increase is very unique. And then for lower and not endgame player, like if you're using it APAP all the stuff, she can also help you tank the damage from APAP poison. I tested once in my PTR server, it's actually doable, but it is not every single poison. So if the poison you get active turn, you're still gonna get the damage, but from the vomit poison from APAP, Zihe can help you share the damage. And then Zihe is very useful for all four Dislyte land bosses as well. Tower content, you can use Zihe as well to be a stone controller and also decrease their damage output, increase their damage taken. So overall, I would say in PvE, Zihe actually worth the meta title in my opinion. Right, so yeah, feel free to comment down what you guys think about it. This is my new PvE meta. This is based on Rezo 0, alright, Rezo 0, and then my priority is already listed right side there. I base on what is the most important for PvE and then how I rank them. Okay, so that's if you want a deeper explanation of every single Esper, I made a video previously, so I don't want to make this video too long and go through every single thing again because the game mode changes isn't that impact. Okay, so this is just an update for the PvE R2 tier list. Then after that, I'll be making the PvP R2 tier list as well, based on my own opinion, which is the next video. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Molkut Regally, The Blue Chilane, Yaki Shiba Tails, Kemi, thank you so much for the support. And for the supporter on Patreon of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wilderness, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwalks, Rimu, Choni, Von Hexa, Antonio Winterspoon, Marlene Williams, Uncle Chat, Eric Mendes, Craigreen, Riku Fred X Iris, Calamity, Jordan Alons, Rocco Stanzions. Thank you so much for your support. And that's not all. Also special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. So special thanks to Ziggy, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Johnny. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.